you don't know, feel that energy flow right into your brain. Your whole game will change. Soldiers retain, soldiers retain, soldiers retain. Real strong man and self-control, the info is plain. If you don't know, feel that energy flow right into your brain. Your whole game will change. Soldiers retain, soldiers retain.
Semen Retention soldiers, we're here for another live training. Captain Jake, what's going down in your world?
Yo, man, yeah, I've had an intense few days, you know, as can happen in life at some points. But even though things are difficult, sometimes, you know, they're always transformational. And if you can learn to like see the hidden messages behind the situations, you come out of them feeling like transformed and on a new plane. So I've been going through one of those times, which is a good thing overall.
Yeah, life's like that, right? Times of stress or destruction, or what appears to be destruction or change, and things happening. And then there's times of, you know, feels like you're cruising along, you're just on cruise control.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. And, you know, it's great that we do have these practices in our life, and we're thinking about more spiritual things, because it helps us go through these times, you know, quite easily, or at least, you know, maybe not easy is the right word, but it allows us to accept it and move through times.
You can more easily pick up the lessons.
Yeah, you could pull the good out of it, you know, and you can just know that everything is temporary, and accept that, okay, this too shall pass, and things change and morph in this world. And I think that's, you know, important. It's why, you know, spiritual life is so important for people. I think it's missing in so many people's lives. It's one of the main reasons we're doing what we're doing, you know, is to have those conversations, so that, you know, people could deal with the reality. And the reality is that even though you can be the most positive person, you can do all the right things in this world, shit will hit the fan once in a while. It's just going to happen. There's no avoiding it. So it's better to be prepared for it. It's better to be strong. In my opinion, anyways, it's better to be a strong person, a very grounded person, and someone with a lot of depth in their spiritual, their inner world. And that way, you know, they can find tons of strength and courage there.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll right into the lesson. It's actually perfect. It sets us up nicely. Today, I want to talk about using the practice of semen retention to stretch our comfort zones, to expand our lives, to multiply your results. Whether it is you want to multiply your income, you want to multiply the experiences in your relationship, whether in or outside the bedroom, you want to multiply your relationship with God. You want to expand in that relationship. You want to expand in your service or your contribution or the impact in which you're making in this world while you're here. You must stretch your comfort zone. There's no getting around it. Now, some guys try to do it on their own. Some guys join programs or hire coaches. Of course, I sell that, so I'm biased. I recommend it, but I sell it because that's what I did. And I know it really helped me. In times where I tried to do it on my own, was a lot tougher. You can get to a place eventually where you can make significant shifts on your own because you've made other significant shifts. And so therefore you eventually become strong enough to be like, okay, I know what I'm going to go through. I understand the process, and it goes a lot quicker. You kind of already know what you have to do at the mental plane to do it. That is also outside of our comfort zone. So we can look at being outside of our comfort zone in material aspects of our life. We can also look at it in mental aspects of our life, and we can also look at it as spiritual aspects of our life, where we stay in our comfort zone and we don't push the boundaries of anything. So the fancy word for today is homeostasis. That's the fancy word, and that word pretty much means comfort zone. In fact, I'll give you The the almighty Google definition. Homeostasis, as currently defined, is a self-regulating process by which biological systems maintain stability while adjusting to changing external conditions. So it is in a way in which internally your body tries to maintain whatever its conditioning is, its systems, its natural biological systems, even though it's dealing with different environments. So a simple example would be if you go into a hot place, what normally starts to happen to your body to try to keep you cool?
Sweat.
Yes, sweat that out, right? That is an example of homeostasis. Your body, the external circumstances change. You went from a cool place to a hot place, but your internal systems want to maintain its best operating. It knows where it operates best, where it's most efficient. And nature likes efficiency. We should all know that, especially as men. Nature likes efficiency. It rewards efficiency. So our bodies are trying to be as efficient as possible. And that's why when we take care of our body, we meditate, we do our sexual alchemy practices, we rotate our energy, we put good food into our body, we exercise, then we're able to be efficient in body. Also, because body and mind are related, there's also a homeostasis of the mind. So let's give an example of that. Tough times, right? Tough times, shit hits the fan, some drama, some passing away, life happens. You'll notice that the mind, like the body, will try to make adjustments. Generally, it starts to overthink, or it starts to think a lot because it's trying to solve a problem. So it's trying to get back to homeostasis where the mind feels at peace. That's why we desire peace, because we're like, how do we just get back to like service? Oh, being here, being engaged. We know that's when we feel the most alive, when we're present, when we're engaged, and we're paying attention to what we do. We're making a difference in that moment, and that's efficient. And nature likes efficiency. It rewards it. So
I've got a quick example of what's happening to me now. I've been performing a lot, like at least once a week, sometimes more. And I made that promise to myself a while ago that I'm going to do at least one performance a week. And it's out of comfort zone every time, you know. Every time there's nerves before, and there's a part of you that goes, just don't go today, man. Don't do it, you know, like stay home and like watch a show or something, like just do something else. But it's like, no, I told myself I'm doing it. So I go, and I'm always grateful I did it like every time. But it's uncomfortable, man, because it brings up so many different things. You're putting yourself out there in front of people. It's bringing up challenging my old patterns, because I used to perform a lot in these like personas. Now I'm trying to be myself. So it's bringing up all this really, and to be honest, I'm just really uncomfortable on stage, but it's like very transformational. Like it's teaching me a lot. And there's all kind of things going on, like grief about my father who used to watch me perform, and now because he passed away, he's not there watching me perform. Like so many things that are uncomfortable but are necessary to move through. So I just keep performing even though it's uncomfortable, and I always get something from it and move forward in a positive way. And maybe that's like an obvious example, like performing is like out of comfort zone, but that's where you grow, is out of the comfort zone, you know.
Yeah, that's thank you for sharing. And first of all, the guys who are with us live, or you're watching the recording, I'll invite you to please hit the like button, subscribe button, share it out, do what you can to promote the channel, or if wherever you're watching, Facebook, Twitter, help us get this message out there and these lessons out there. They're very transformational. Again, we talk about real shit and things that really impact your life. And again, I'm going to relate it all to our semen retention practice, but let's use this example, Jake, because it's perfect. First of all, it was funny. I was giving a speech on the weekend, and I started my speech just as I was setting the mic up. I said, because there was a guy, and he spoke for the very first time ever at a political rally, and he got up, he said his piece, and then he introduced me. And I was just encouraging the crowd to do the same. I said, get out there and speak, because or get in front of a crowd and do something, because it's the number one fear on the planet, public speaking, right? Performing. Because you have to face yourself completely in that, because everything that you're insecure about or that you're holding on to will essentially flood up, because because the potential is that, oh my God, people are going to see me. And oftentimes what we don't want them to necessarily see is not our outer world, but what we're holding on to, our inner worlds.
Mm-mm.
So we're sometimes like, oh, but that all comes up because it comes up from within. It's like, what if I'm vulnerable? What if I'm people go through all different things. And that's the point. What happens is that your body is reacting because your mind is noticing, I am vulnerable here in some way, shape, or form. I would prefer to be watching a show.
Yeah.
Why? Because that's comfortable for me. So homeostasis in the mind shows up as the little voice that makes excuses. That's homeostasis. That's your mind saying, but we've learned to survive in life like this. I can just cruise on by and I'll survive, and I'll do all right. I'll have a good life. Reasons, justifications. Fear. Anxiety. Doubt. Anything else? What comes up when you step outside of your comfort zone?
Oh yeah, all of those things. I was just thinking of examples. It says all these things to convince you why it's better to just stay in the comfort zone.
Yeah. So what we got to recognize is what's happening. What is happening? Well, what's happening is, so again, is that your external world has shifted. In your case, you're going and doing lots of performing. So now you put yourself, your external world is shifted. You've made an internal decision. You executed it. You've manifested it. Some people like that language, or created it, or whatever. It doesn't matter, however you want to put it. The point is, you went from desire, thought to reality. But to do that is that when you're bringing it into this material reality, your body-mind connection, there's going to go, whoa, this is a shift to our external circumstance. And I would really just like to watch television like we do every night, because that's what that's what I'm conditioned. The body, am conditioned to do.
And also, I mean, it's a specific example, but with television, you live your life through others. You see other people living, other people laughing, crying, playing, and it's almost like you're living a life, but you don't have to actually be vulnerable yourself.
That's right. But the reason we're all glued to it, or many of us are, is because we're in a way trying to live that life through them.
We watch that and think, oh, I wish my life was like that. I want something to happen like that. Meanwhile, we just stopped ourselves going out to watch that show, to sit and watch that show.
Yeah. We've dulled our own life down to take the easy route of experiencing it through somebody else, but without taking away but really you're not experiencing it, because you're only living it at a mental. It's like a dream you're living out.
Yeah.
You're just living out a dream, and so you get to feel a little bit of the sensations of it, but it's over. And you also know that in reality you never did it. You watched it. It's the same thing with pornography. We talk about this with pornography, right? I was like, you got this desire. Oh yeah, I'm gonna bang all these women, hot women. I'm gonna go through them, right? Every guy that's like, a little testosterone driven is like that. I'm gonna go through them. All right. But then instead of actually pursuing that and then realizing that it's not as great as you think and blah blah blah, and you eventually fade it out because you're just it's nothing, it's whatever your mind's built it up to be, it's just not it, right? Then, but at least in that process, you have to go through all of it. If you really do it, you're going to get rejected. You're going to have to deal with rejection. You're going to have to get out your comfort zone and talk to women. You're going to have to stop making excuses about how you're not tall enough, thin enough, short enough, all that stuff. You're going to have to face yourself. And if you're like, you know what, I would like to be a little bit more jacked, then you have to then go to the gym. You have to do the activities that make you experience the exciting life that you're watching in the movies. Now, the movies is the movies. It's never that exciting. Like what happened, think about an hour and a half movie. They pack the most exciting possible moments for an hour and a half straight. If you were to actually, if even what you saw in the movie was even possible in reality, which most of it isn't, but let's just say it was, that would be a lifetime to accomplish those type of highlighted, exciting, big Super Bowl moments. So the day-to-day is day-to-day. Everybody's just doing routines and habits depending on their goals. Now, as advancing men, as soldiers, we are purposely stretching ourselves. So when we go outside of our comfort zone and we're going to do something outside of our norm, that's when these things come up. I like the example of someone on a diving board. When is the time where you're most scared to jump off the diving board? It's right before you jump, soon as you're on that edge. When you're the most nervous, when you're the most scared, this is when you have to recognize, I'm on the edge of my comfort zone. That's why all that's coming up. The reason I want to make excuses, the reason my little voice is fighting me so hard right now is because I'm about to go to the next level. I'm about to expand my comfort zone. All I need to do it a few times to recognize what, after you jump the first time off the diving board and you hit that water and it's like, woo, you know, you're like, yeah, let's do it again. Right? You get off the pool, you're like running back up there to do it again because of the thrill, the excitement, the aliveness you felt because you broke your own experience. You literally expanded. Now what happens is your comfort zone is out here. And you've just expanded the area or the space or the context in which you live your life. You can now handle more. So what, because here's the deal. One day, Jake, to use your example, one day you're going to be on, a tour where you need to perform every day, sometimes twice a day. You got to do the mall gig, then the club gig, then the temple gig, because you're going to be everywhere. So if you see that in your mind's eye, this is how you create something. Then you go, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be performing. I'm going to be having a great time doing it. I'm going to be serving. I'm going to make an impact. People are going to be digging conscious music. You can see it in your mind's eye and you feel it. Now your little voice is going to say, whoa, we never felt like this before. We never felt so empowered. We never felt so energetic. We never felt, this is new. What happens is, unless, this is where your mentorship, this is where we encourage you to join the army and get behind people, get a group of men behind you that are going to actually uplift you. Because here's what is guaranteed to happen to every single one of you. It's happened to me, it'll happen to Jake. This is being human. Is all of your excuses, your reasons, your justifications, your past mistakes, your failures, all of that shit's going to come up, and it's going to say, just stay in your zone, man. Just stay in your living room and watch Netflix. It's way safer in there. And it's literally going to fight you, because for because it's a false identity, but it thinks it's real. You've given it so much energy over time that it's literally like a thing. It's like an entity. But its energy, its power comes from you. So soon as you battle that and you say, no, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do another gig and another gig and another gig. I'm going to jump off another one. I'm going to make another bigger deal. I'm going to sell it harder, faster. I'm going to go, whatever it is that gets you to stretch yourself. Then next thing you know, you're out here now. Well, when you're out here, you just beat that. Now here's the deal. You have to do it again. Go to the higher diving board. Oh, crap. Here we go again. Then eventually you catch a growth momentum. So what's a growth momentum? Here, let me use a thicker marker. And then if anybody's got any questions, comments, or whatever, then we could chat a little bit about what we've learned today and talk about its practical application to semen retention as well. So eventually you're pushing your comfort zone, you're pushing your comfort zone, you're pushing your comfort zone. Then eventually you realize, oh my gosh, I get it. I know how to do it. Boom. And then your growth isn't like this linear that much anymore. Then it starts to expand or multiply. So to wrap this up a little bit, this happens when homeostasis transforms into what's comfortable is being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
When you get off on being when you recognize uncomfortability for what it really is, which is a internal defensive mechanism meant to keep you safe, the body mind, which is unintelligent on its own, interprets safety unless you get it, unless you direct it differently. It will interpret safety as the same.
Yeah.
It will just go for what it knows, conditioned. Whatever it's conditioned. You go date to date to date, different asshole, same package. Different woman, same woman. Different on the outside. I thought it was going to be so different. Nope, same woman. And why? Because you haven't changed or you haven't expanded in a certain area. You haven't developed a new self-image of what you will bring into your life, of what you deserve. A standard has to be raised. And that's largely what growth is, raising your standards. The way that you execute, perform, and interact with every day, not just a particular area. That is an internal way of being. And always remember, the way you treat one thing is the way you treat everything. So treat everything with care, with bhakti, with devotion. Treat everything with passion or an intention to help it. And you will naturally then hit this growth curve, because that spirit of helping or service keeps you also outside your mind. It keeps you more in your heart, in your energy. And therefore, it's easy to get over these internal blocks. So when you hit that growth curve, when homeostasis, when your new comfort is growth, then you have a multiplying, expanding life. You're now an advancing man, a powerhouse man. You are expanding in all areas, and you can see it. Somebody can literally come and tell you, no, you suck and you're the worst thing ever, blah, blah, blah. And it won't faze you because you have so much evidence in your own life. You'll be like, yeah, this guy's an idiot. Right? So that's how you get that unshakable confidence, because you yourself are seeing it and you're so engaged in what you're seeing that someone comes and tells you that they see something else. You're like, it doesn't matter because you're not seeing what I'm seeing. Semen retention is the ultimate practice of getting into growth mode, because semen retention, by the practice of semen retention, you're literally developing the mental strength and willpower to take on an austerity, to regulate your ejaculations, to regulate yourself and your masturbation and porn habits, which then puts you up. It's difficult at first. And you're going to have all these reasons and justifications and anxiety and doubt. But then you, boom, you pop out of that once you do it. Like we're launching today. We open up pre-registration for the 90-day boot camp that starts July. And I'll give you the exact date right here. Monday, July 4th. We're starting the Semen Retention Army. Myself and Jake are leading a 90-day boot camp. Now, you may go the whole 90 days, you may not. But the point is we're going to train, and you're going to get a video a day with a routine to help you expand your comfort zone and use semen retention as the fuel to exponentially grow. Because when you retain your semen, your energy has an exponential factor. Remember, one sperm exponentially grows into a human freaking being, or at least a body. Right? Now imagine all that energy pulling that up within you, keeping it within you, and being intentional about where you're going. So if you're interested in joining us for the 90-day boot camp, your next step is to go to my website and send me a message under the contact form and just say, yo, I'm interested in the 90-day boot camp. We'll jump on a call. We'll go through what it takes to get registered. We're only accepting 50 guys into the boot camp. And we're going to mentor 50 guys directly, a video a day, a routine a day. And then you've got that for life where you can refer to it. You're going to be able to, practice and master your sexual energy, both in and outside the bedroom. For guys who are doing brahmachari and stuff, you guys can skip those parts. And this program will be suitable for men in household life. That's really what it's geared for. But also men who are practicing some kind of monk, priesthood, or brahmachari practice. Also, you can go down in the description below and get started with the free ejaculation control guide. You can take that right away and start practicing. That's a routine to help men, last longer in the bedroom, for men who are in relationships but want to be able to have non-ejaculatory sex and set them up for non-ejaculatory orgasm so they can feel satisfied in their sexual energy. But still practice retention. Retention is going to be the fuel to launch to make this happen quicker. Your journey can be 5 years, or your journey can be 90 days to a new life. But it's all about your ability to stay focused and disciplined.
Yeah, and it really can happen that quickly if you really focus for that amount of time on it. You can, within the 90 days, learn all the tools you need to control these urges and redirect them into your life. So it's very powerful. If you just take 90 days of your life, 3 months, you can completely change that.
Yeah, it's like you said, 90 days to make the biggest investment you'll make in yourself. And I'm not talking about money wise. I'm talking about energy wise, giving yourself an actual routine, a sadhana, a practice that will continuously expand you. This program will be for the rest of your life, because once you know how to retain and regulate your ejaculation, and some guys will still choose to ejaculate, but maybe once a month, maybe twice a month, you're going to live an expansive life. Or you keep going down the road you're going down, jerking off all the time, watching porn all the time, or ejaculating all the time, then you're neither going to get the material nor the spiritual advancement that you're looking for. And it's just as simple as that. Any questions? Man, everybody was kind of quiet today. That's cool. Anybody watching the recording, you guys can leave some comments, questions. I'm happy to answer. Again, you can go to my website, shoot me off a message, get in contact with Captain Jake, myself. We're happy to help. Point is, push your comfort zone. And there's no better way to do it than semen retention.
I think what's interesting as well is when you live in that growth state, it takes care of all the other things that you were worried about anyway. Like the reason we don't want to go out of our comfort zone is like for like security or like different reasons. It's interesting you were mentioning like growth and service, because I did a course a few years ago, like one of the Tony Robbins courses, and there was some good stuff in there. He was saying like that there's 6 human needs. And
Yes.
the first four is like, certainty, uncertainty, significance, and love and connection. And so these are like the basic needs that everyone has on a material level, and they arrange their lives around that. But he said the last two needs are the more spiritual needs: growth and contribution. And if you make those two your main needs, then all the others are taken care of. You have security because you're certain you can grow and contribute. And so you have uncertainty because it's always different all the time because you're doing
That's
new
right.
things. You have significance because what you're doing is like really there's a purpose there, and you have love and connection because it's it's a spiritual venture you're going with. So if you just take that leap off that diving board or go into the more abundant things like growth and contribution and live your life like that, you don't have to worry about any of those things you're scared about, like security and comfort. Like they will just take care of that by itself.
Yeah, that's right. Both like, and like that's why you don't have to chase material pleasures. They'll chase you.
Yeah.
They're little
Yeah.
rewards, they're little gifts that come in, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're growing. And I, when we get those gifts in and such, I see it as God reciprocating, the universe, however you want to put it, right? Krishna, Jehovah, Allah. It's reciprocal. God is reciprocating and saying, hey, keep going, you're rocking and rolling. And that's why it's
Also,
like, go ahead. No, I was just
the
going
same
to wrap up and say, I was just going to wrap up and say, that's why it's foolish, actually. And, to really like chase material things very like with such like force, chase the spiritual contribution and growth, right?
Yeah.
And everything else is aligned. Everything else gets aligned behind that.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say that when you chase something, what happens? It runs away, isn't it? So like we're always chasing these material things, and they run away. But when we're just situated in an abundant spiritual life, they naturally come to us when we stop chasing them. Things run when you chase them, man. Stop chasing people.
That's a good one. Look, man, things run when you chase them, so don't chase them. It's true. You know what? There's this principle I use with my cats about attracting, where I want to think, how do I attract then chase? And so my cats,
they're so cool. If you are too needy with them, they don't have anything to do with you.
No, they're I love them, man. They're independent because they're like me, independent. Let me do my thing,
Yeah.
and I'll come to you and get some pets or something once in a while, right? And so let's say they're like all over the building, and I'm like, hey, come on, guys, like trying to like get them to come inside or something. I used to like go and be like, okay, I got to go chase them down, right? But now, see, I got smarter over time. I realized, why would I chase anything? I'll attract them. And all I have to do is grab the little treats, shake it, and within 30 seconds to a minute, boom, they're both there right at my feet, like treat time. And, it's like a little lesson of life. I was like, this is the exact same thing with anything in life. You have to learn what is the right bait, let's say. And that means, who do you have to be to attract the result you want? Right? And and that comes from your heart. It comes from your inner world, and it comes from being in growth mode. When you're growing, you're taking steps closer. In the Bible, it says, every step you take to God, God takes 2 steps to you. So you're growing, and you're like, yeah, I'm working, but the reciprocation comes 3 times at least. So it's exponential growth. It's a universal principle, and we must just get used to being uncomfortable, pushing our comfort zone every day, and battling that out. And then it becomes normal. It just becomes the way you operate. And you don't even think about it. It's just the way you operate, but you'll know it because you'll be witnessing the results. And so therefore your faith and enthusiasm and everything will continue to grow too, because you're like, oh, it's like on a roller coaster. You're like, here we go. You know that the big exciting life, or whatever you're looking for, it's coming, because you can feel yourself climbing up. Oh yeah. And it's really in the way you feel. All right, cool. I think we did justice to that today.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So once again, go to my website, join the 90-day boot camp, or at least send a message to me, and we'll jump on a call and make sure that it's a right fit for you first, and then get you in. Again, we're going to be we're starting July 4th, but we're starting to pre-register guys today. So reach out today. We're only taking 50 guys. It'll be first come, first serve, and there'll be some discounts for signing up early. So take action on it right away. Get your spot. These 90 days are going to absolutely transform your life. You need anything, reach out. And if not, we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Soldiers.
Retain.
Soldiers retain. Real strong men are self-control, their info is plain. If you don't know, feel that energy flow right into your brain. Your whole game will change. Soldiers retain. Soldiers retain. Soldiers retain.